Hey, this is Craig the Pool Man with Pool Specialist. Today we have a short video for you on how to automate a WhisperFlo VST. In reality, this is the replacement pump for the initial IntelliFlo. Not the IntelliFlo 3, but the IntelliFlo. And you'll find that it has the exact same WhisperFlo body, so it will plumb up exactly the same way. If you went to an IntelliFlo 3, that actually plumbs up the exact same way that the IntelliFlo XF used to plumb up. And that, therefore, it's not a direct swap out. You have to redo plumbing. If you have the IntelliFlo and you want to not have to change the plumbing, then you can do so by using this WhisperFlo VST. Now, the WhisperFlo VST has a different connector for automation on it than the IntelliFlo had. So we're going to show you the differences between those, and then you have to purchase the automation cable in order to automate it. And there's two ways to automate it. There's kind of the old way with the SuperFlo, where you can actually use multiple relays to control the speed of it. Or you can also use the same concept that was used on the IntelliFlo, where it's just two wires to the 486 connector. And that's what we're going to be demonstrating today, because that's the more practical. This is something that you typically will have to do if you own a pool company or you're upgrading your equipment, or the old equipment just burns out. So with further ado, let's get going.
The first thing you're going to need is to purchase a communication cable. This is a special cable for the SuperFlo and WhisperFlo VST. It is not like the IntelliFlo pump or the old IntelliFlo pump. It is a different cable. And the new IntelliFlo 3 just requires a 4-wire connection. Actually, it only uses 2 of those wires, but needless to say, there's an RS-285, an RS-485 port that is in that pump. But for the SuperFlo and the WhisperFlo VST, this is the cable. This cable will work with the old version of that pump that automates using relays to vary the speed. And of course, this will also work for the communication port, the RS-485. And if you look in the link below, you're going to see that you can purchase this through us on Amazon. Here is the pump COM port, and this is a picture of a WhisperFlo. However, it doesn't look a whole lot different than SuperFlo, and the COM port is exactly in the same spot because it's the same motor controller on it. All right, now that cable is going to have to connect into your automation system. So if you're going into a Pentair system, i.e. an IntelliCenter, an Easytouch, or an Easytouch, you are going to connect the yellow wire to pin 3 of the RS-485 port, and you are going to connect the green wire to pin 2 of the RS-485 port. So those are the only 2 wires that you need. If you've ever done automation with Pentair pumps, you'll know this is the same way that they used to do the IntelliFlo pumps. You can alternately hook this up to a Jandy RS system. Whether it's a 4, a 6, or an 8 is irrelevant. Most people just refer to it as an iAqualink because that is the app that they have for controlling the system. Now, you will notice that this wire up here is the actual standard configuration of a Jandy COM port. And this wire here is the wire coming from your pump. So the wire coming from the pump, the yellow wire is going to go to the black wire of the Jandy system, and the green wire is going to go to the yellow wire of the Jandy system. All right, this is kind of what the control panel looks like, and of course it just explains your keys and how to get to different places. The first thing, you're going to have to program this in order, and if you don't go in the order that is stated here, it's not going to work because it disables different things. So please use this order to set it up. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to set your time. You hold the display button down for about 5 seconds, and then this is going to flash 12:24. You press that display button again, and then the time is going to flash. Then you can use the plus and minus to set the time. Now, this is somewhat irrelevant because this pump is effectively going to be set under control, and it's set to be on for 24 hours, so who really cares what time it is? And then, quite honestly, who really cares what start time it has? So this is kind of an optional thing. You may want to do this. You could just pass by it. It doesn't really matter. Setting the address is important, especially if you're using this on other than address 1. So after you get to setting your time, you're going to press this display button again, and it's going to come up with your screen. It says 100%, and that'll flash. You press this again, and now it's going to flash 1 or 2, depending on what you have it set to. And you're going to use the plus and minus key to set it to the pump address that you want. Unfortunately, this pump only has 2 options for addresses, i.e. it is mostly compatible, I'll call it, with the Easytouch, which also only allows you to address 2 different pumps. And I find that as a shortcoming to this pump, but in comparison to a lot of the other manufacturers for automated pumps, this is a very cost-effective pump. So you may have to get a little bit creative in if you have more than 2 pumps, and many of our customers have as many as 6 pumps on their system. So you may want to use this for some of your simpler functions and then get an IntelliFlow pump for your more complicated features that are going to be higher addresses. So you set your pump address. Next, we're going to have to set up our pump speed number 1. And the way that we do this is we're going to press 1, and then the start time is going to display. This is kind of what I said is irrelevant. If you want to set this, hallelujah, go ahead. If you don't, it doesn't really matter. So then you're going to press this 1 again, and it's going to display the duration. This is very important. You basically hit this up button until the duration is set to 24 hours. Next, we're going to adjust our speed, and the way that we adjust our speed is we have to set this to 0. So you're going to use the minus key to get down to 0. And once you're at 0, then you're set to get automated. Now you can attach your automation cable, and if you press start stop and you have it programmed on your automation, it should begin. Now, programming it on your automation is a little bit different. Now, this pump responds only to variable speed. It is not a variable flow like the other, what I'll call Pentair and IntelliFlow pumps, and of course like the new IntelliFlow 3, you could set for variable speed or variable flow. So you are going to have to set your control system to be variable speed, and that's easy if you have a Pentair system where you choose between variable speed and variable flow. If you have a Jandy system, it is always variable speed. It is not variable flow, so you don't really have to worry about this. And then again, you only have pump addresses 1 and 2. So you need to make sure that this pump is properly addressed so that in your automation system, if you have this assigned to a pump address 1, the pump says pump address 2. If you have your automation set up for pump address 2, then the pump has to be set up for pump address 2. So that is extremely important. We have other videos on how to actually set these pumps up when you in the automation system to define the speed and the flow and everything. And you'll see that the videos that we have are for the control system specific, whether it's for an Easytouch, an Intellitouch, or a Jandy system.
I hope you found this video educational. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.